So welcome to tutorial number 18, and this is about Coldfusion and queries. And we're going to introduce today to the CF query tag. In effect, what the CF query tag is, it passes queries or SQL statements to a data source or a database. The syntax of it is quite simple. It starts off with the opening query tag with a name, then the SQL commands within, inside, and the closing tag. And we're going to jump straight into a demonstration on this one. So here we have, I've already created a database called code is loading in my SQL, and what I've done in Coldfusion, we've created a data source. Now that's in the CF administrator, which is lots of information on adobe.com and how to set it up, but it's very simple. It's basically just the IP number of your database, username and password, and it creates a data source to it. So this query is called get users, linking to the data source, code is loading. The SQL commands are select the fields user ID, forename, surname, initial from the table users, which, like I said, I've already created this table. Now I'll just do a save of this, and we'll go to a web page where that code is on, and you'll see nothing is actually being displayed, just the actual H1 tag that's displayed. The query is actually invisible to the web page. So we're going to go back to the code, and then the first thing as a coder you can do is test to make sure you've got the right query or right content coming back. So Coldfusion has got this little thing called CF dump, and var equals quote hash quote and closing thing, and then we take the whole query. Now what this will do, this will dump the whole output of that query to the screen, so I can look to make sure the data I'm pulling back is correct. So I refresh this page, boom, and this is the data it's bringing back. The query, it's got the forename, it's got the ID record, tell me how long it takes to bring back. So we're going to go back and we're going to play with that data now. So the first thing we're going to do, I'll get rid of that one. We're going to output the contents of that query. CF output, and we're outputting a query equals and backslash and then we'll get the query name and we're going to put it in here. Then basically I'm going to take the forename and we'll put a break in between. So what I'm doing there is I'm taking the code to get the query get users, output it and display the full name to the page with the break after it. So we'll save that, we'll go back, text editor, this will now disappear, and now it's outputting the names of the people in that query. So we'll go start playing more of that data. I want to go back to the query. I want to order by forename. So I'm changing it now to output the contents of my query in order of the forename alphabetically. So we go back, query, refresh, and now it's alphabetically ordered the queries. Maybe there's too many results being shown on screen. So what I can do, I can type a max rows. So I can control how many records are actually coming back from the database. So if I go back to the actual demo and refresh, it's now only bringing back 2 records. A good little feature to use to playing around with bringing back code. So I'll take that off. A different SQL command I can put here. I can put where initial equals, and I'm going to put J. I'll put it in uppercase because I think I've done that. Go back. It's bringing back the J's. So you've got great control with this CF query tag. And go to that again. Like I said, the query, it is always good in a query to include all the fields you want to pull back. If you're doing this very lazily, you could just put a star in there, which is a wildcard, and brings back every single record within that table. So if I refresh it, it will work again. But again, that's not seen as best practice. CF query is a very strong and powerful tool to actually get data back and manipulate it. So in summary, the CF query, it's a tag used to send SQL commands to a database or retrieve SQL from a database. It becomes very powerful when used as CF output, and a very few lines of code are needed to actually do lots of things with it. And that completes the tutorial on CF query. Thank you.